Good evening.
Hey, I'm just trying to share it out here.
I'm working on sharing this out too.
Zach is dead.
You
Yeah,
saw it, huh?
I suggest you just go away before I make you go away. Go. Go now. Go.
Zach being his usual bad boy.
He posted on his timeline, have you ever wished your wife was a TV star? Mine is. And tagged it.
Uh-oh.
Go, just get the hell out of here and go. Get.
Can I have your autograph, baby?
Yep, my footprint on your behind. Yes, you can.
That's funny. That is funny. Okay, let's see.
He's not going to think he's funny before long.
Okay, I got all the groups shared out. Now I got to hit the chats.
That's what I'm working on is here we go. Oh, maybe not. There we go.
Uh,
They changed Facebook again.
I know.
And apparently they changed iPhones too. Like really changed them. I don't own an iPhone, so it doesn't matter. But people were complaining. All right, let's see if I can get back to. Okay. Yep. I got
Every time there's a change, people are going to complain. Uh,
it. Yeah.
The only difference that I notice is when you go to a profile, there's a little something extra at the top of the thing.
When I go to share, it asks you like feed, all kinds of different things where before you yeah, it's all different.
Oh, I have not seen that yet.
You're lucky. I probably restarted my phone and there it was.
I should probably restart my phone sometime. Haven't done that in a while. My phone actually tells me how long it's been on.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, it used to. I'm going to see if I can find it. Let's see here. System. Yeah, maybe they took it off. Device health. Okay, yeah, they took it off. I used to be able to look on here and see how many days my phone was on. So, okay, what do you say we get started?
Let's get started.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I know we got viewers, but nobody's commenting. Please say hello. Let us know you are here. Let us know who you are. Because I know that we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And I've got followers on each of those, or I got live viewers on each of those. Um, Tonight, we are going to be doing a bit of truth telling. Um, Not necessarily the kind of truth telling we would prefer to do. Um, but this one here needs to be done because it actually kind of affects the credibility. Yeah, it affects the credibility of Adrienne. Um, and she wants to set the story straight. I know that we have talked about this in the past, but she has never really told the truth of what actually happened in the story. Um, and how things were changed and manipulated because of her 24-minute appearance on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, not 15 minutes, 24.
Well, no, it was 15 because, the rest of them were actors.
Well, true, but it, well, you did not necessarily voiceover, but they had your voice going over the thing.
Hmm.
So to set the stage, the name of the show that Adrienne appeared on is called Haunted Hospitals, and she was telling a story of something that she went through 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And well, the story that she told them is not the story, not 100%, that they put out on TV.
No.
And we are here to set the record straight. So, without further ado, please welcome Adrienne Clayton, who is uh, basically like one of my right hand women. Um, she is the leader Things of Colorado. Pretty high on the totem pole, really.
Some
She's
days. Some days.
yeah, okay, and also second in command of Things Network. So, without further ado, Adrian, let's get into haunted hospitals and how I would like for you to tell how this came about, you appearing on their show.
Actually, one of my friends put out a post because she was, I don't know if she was working for them or just trying to get clout for them. I don't know. But she had put out there, hey, anybody who has any experience with a haunted hospital, this is the person. And she put his contact information. And I thought, that'd be kind of cool. Never expecting anything out of it. And I kind of give a brief synopsis of my story and got a contact, said, hey, here's your plane tickets and you're going to come up here. Oh, okay. So anybody with, not knowing exactly, I knew how the contracts were with like Travel Channel, things like that, but I thought this was different. No, it's not. They paid for your plane ticket, they paid for your meals while you were there, and they sent you home. That's all you got. That was it. But, in everybody's mind, you're like, oh, I get, my 15 minutes of fame. No, you don't. What you get is your 15 minutes of shame because they're going to cut and paste and do the actors and everything else into something that was not true. Now, there was a lady there with me that I actually knew from Facebook, and her story, I I don't know if it was 100% accurate, but if it was, it's pretty cool. Um, she was there. She was so nice, and she's on a lot of shows. I will never go on another one. This is it. I'm done. But she's been on many, and maybe her story was portrayed accurately. I don't know. This one was absolutely not. But, you know, we'll go there as we go through it. So, because of copyright issues, we're not going to play it on here. But I'm going to watch this thing that I've known existed, and I've gotten pictures from friends. Hey, look, you're on TV. I don't care. Um, I really, I actually wrote them and asked them to take it down when I first saw it. of course, after they pay for your plane tickets and your food, they're not going to take it down. But
Did they even respond?
no, no. But so here we are, and the only thing we can do is say, okay, this is how it is. Zach has never even seen it.
And he is now.
No, he's not, because he's in there cooking. Nope. No, no. But yeah, I mean, we're going to get behind the scenes of how this really works, and you have no control of how they portray it once you give your segment. They can cut, paste, and put things in places that they do not belong, that changes the whole narrative, which is
Mhm.
the same as they do in politics, in TV, in anything. This is TV. So that's why I'll never do it again.
And the same really can be said about social media.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because people do screenshots and video grabs of certain lines that they want other people to hear without actually including, what was said before and after. Because if people heard those, then they would understand why this was said.
Yep. Yep. And that's the way this is. And, it's just one of those things that you learn your lesson. You think, oh, wow, I can get on TV for a minute. Yeah, don't.
I
Don't.
I remember when you went because this was in 22, I think.
Yeah, very beginning of 22. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in 22, and you were actually flown to Detroit.
Yep.
So you were just 4 hours away from here.
Yep. Yep. They put us up in a motel. It was snowing. It was ugly. It was nasty. I did not leave that motel until it was time to go back to the airport.
Yeah, in Detroit, not recommended.
That's why I didn't leave. But, and you couldn't take anybody with you. You were by yourself. So it was like, okay, well, I don't even know if that show is airing anymore, honestly. And if it is,
Maybe not on TV, but it is on YouTube. Because Haunt TV, I've heard of them, but so it is. Uh, Probably one of those streaming services that maybe have a couple thousand subscribers.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I know that the TV series was really popular overseas because that's where I got all the messages. Hey, look, you're on my TV.
I remember you telling me when you started getting those messages.
Yep. And, there's no way you can explain in a text that this is BS.
Yeah. Okay, Haunt TV is a free streaming channel. Okay, so it is on YouTube, Roku channel, Tubi, Plex, Samsung TV Plus, that's a new one, and something called LG Channels.
Yeah.
The LGTVs.
So, Haunt TV, funded by the government of Canada.
And that's where a lot of my messages came from.
Okay.
That UK, I'm like, oh, okay, this is great.
So the way that I see this, and some people will consider this a knock, and if they do, that's fine. I really don't care. But Haunt TV, along with other streaming platforms, basically take the shows that are not going to make it on regular TV. Hi, Joanne. So they take the, I guess, second rate, third rate, fourth rate shows.
Yep. Well, here's the thing though. Haunted Hospitals was on regular TV for a while. And then it went away. Because I used to watch it.
Let's see if I can find it on Wikipedia. Nope. Nope, not on Wikipedia.
I stopped watching it after all that very quickly. But I never paid attention, whether it was there, not there.
Yeah. So it started as a TV series in 2018. Apparently it's also available on Apple TV.
It's on Pluto, Joanne said.
Prime Video, so it's on Amazon, but it says season 1 here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so to set, let me mute this so that I can play it a little bit. So to set the scene here, okay, the name of your portion is called Cat People.
Yep.
And it is set in somewhere in Oklahoma in the 1990s.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, okay. I forgot to turn the captions on.
I turned them on just now.
Okay. So the dawn breaks in Oklahoma. At a local hospital, cook Adrienne Hart arrives to start breakfast for the patients. Okay. So you were a cook.
Yeah. Yeah. We would go in at 5:30 in the morning.
All right, and I will let you take over from here.
So, what they portrayed on here. Okay, so they started out right. Where our kitchen was, which this looks nothing like our kitchen, I don't expect it to, used to be the old ER entrance. And we'd go through the side door and go into the kitchen. Now, it is true, things used to move around in that kitchen. Like we used to have a biscuit cutter and it would move. Like it would be completely in another room. The kitchen itself was 3 rooms. It would move. My friend was telling me all the time, I don't know where I left it. You're going crazy. She was a little older than I was. And then when I started going in earlier than she did, it really did move. That was, you can chalk that up to, okay, I've got so much going on. I walked into the freezer and left it because I had it in my hand. Things like that, yes, they're going to happen. But when that was the old ambulance entrance, one of our coworkers, her husband, she used to work there. Her husband was brought in, and he was actually dead when he was brought in. But that's all she could remember was him being brought in. She saw it was him. And, there's so much history in that hospital with our coworkers. What they didn't tell was that somebody actually got killed there, one of our coworkers. They portrayed, and now I will have to say, they did a really good job, and I never described him. They did a really good job on the janitor. That is really what he looked like. He was scraggly, long hair, long beard. But we would all go outside, and at that time I smoked cigarettes. We would go outside and smoke. And his wife, him, all of us in the kitchen that smoked would go out and talk. It was, we would just discuss life. And they did have a bunch of cats. I'm talking like their whole house was, I was never there, but their whole house was full of cats. And he made the comment several times that cats are worshipped. Like, okay, well, not mine, but okay.
They were at one time.
Right. And he followed the old Egyptian ways, and so did she. And the cat necklace that they portrayed, he did not have. There was nothing like that. He just talked about his cats, and they were his life. They were his kids. They were his babies.
Now, were they Egyptian?
No, no, they were both white.
Okay, so they just basically follow the practices.
And I don't even know if it was a practice, honestly. It was just they loved those cats. And that was their life. They had no kids, never had kids.
Hmm.
And then they went on to discuss things like Cleopatra, yeah. They went on to discuss things like his, I don't remember if it was before or after without actually playing it, but we didn't know for a long time that the janitor was married to one of the nurses because they were just a really weird couple. The lady they portrayed, I don't even know where they got half this stuff, honestly, because that's not what I said. But
Oh, they got to spruce it up a little bit.
yeah, and that part's true. Every morning for an hour, I was by myself.
You said that he was married to one of the nurses.
He was. He was.
Now he's married to this other. What did she do?
She was like a RN,
Okay,
but
so
she didn't do anything weird. She was not like that. Okay, so they talk about the biscuit cutter moving, which that was true. I love this kitchen being dark. I mean, why would, I don't know. Why would the kitchen be dark? But anyway.
with an orange light in the background.
Yeah, yeah, I don't get any of that, but whatever.
It's
That
an.
part, I could live with that. I'm kind of watching this as we go through here.
Yeah, I'm watching it too. I don't know if we're perfectly. You're just now picking up the biscuit cutter off the trays.
Yeah, and why would I say is anyone here? I mean, seriously. No, I never did that. Um, yeah, like right. I was tired. It's early in the morning. Why would I ask if anybody's there? I mean, no, that never happened.
Well, that would be kind of like an instinctual thing because if you know you had something in one place and all of a sudden it's over in another place, the first thing that would come to my mind is somebody came in and moved it.
Yeah, yeah. And then they talk about mentally marking the salt was beside. No, I didn't. No. The biscuit cutter was the only thing that ever moved like that. So, no.
At least they portrayed you with making sure you had your hair in a net.
Yeah, right. That's true.
So,
But funny, my coworker didn't.
huh.
And she was my assistant cook. And they couldn't spell my name right, but whatever. Um,
Well, captions rarely ever do.
and they portray that guy, oftentimes at his eyes glowing red. No, he was a normal person. I mean, he was an old scraggly dude, but normal person. We never. I don't know what that bench was outside that, but I would have loved to have that.
At least they spelled your name right on the tag.
Yeah, right. And this little thing, she did her best to fit in with the coworkers. What? What? I I don't
Now,
know.
you fitting in with the coworkers, or your friend that you're talking to fitting in with
No,
the coworkers?
me.
You okay?
And him sitting down beside me talking to me. Yeah, well, I mean, we would all go outside and smoke and talk. And I asked him if that was a cat on his neck. No. No. He brought up cats living in his house. That had nothing to do with anything.
There's the orange glow. Just came up. Yeah.
They
So
were
so
trying to
a bit
set
ahead.
the scene. I get it. You know. Okay. He would tell me strange things. They don't own you, you own them, or you don't own them, they own you. Yeah. And that is something we say about cats. And he asked, "Can I show you something?" No, he didn't. And the picture of the mummified cat, absolutely not. That
Now
no.
I'm synced up with you.
Huh?
Now I am synced up with you.
Okay. Okay.
I forgot about that mummified cat.
That never happened. They were once worshipped as okay. So yeah, that did happen. I believe they gave him some sort of power. Uh, yeah, yeah, he did believe that.
So we are doing a watch along here, sort of. We just can't show it on here because a couple weeks ago I actually played a YouTube video on my wrestling show with the volume off, and I still got hit with a copyright because it was a visual copyright. I'm thinking this is absolutely ridiculous how they get you.
Yeah, yep. And that I do like that narration. That guy he was good.
Okay, here it is. The guy's doing the seance thing.
Yeah, and that never happened. Absolutely the hell not. It was a hospital. You're not going to go into a room and do a say. No, no, that did not happen.
And plus, I don't think a hospital would allow him to have a skull of a cat.
No, no, that did not happen. Absolutely not.
Actually, that wasn't even a cat because the skull was a little elongated.
Yeah, yeah, that never happened. And nor did I say it happened. Okay.
So now you put in either meatballs or cookies in the oven.
I guess. Ooh, chocolate. It's chocolate.
Is that what it is?
Looks like it. I don't know. Our ovens were metal and huge. Okay.
Keith,
Um,
we are doing a watch along this TV show that Adrienne appeared on. And she is telling the truth about what actually happened as opposed to what story they spiced up for her.
I did hear my name. It did not happen over and over and over and over. That's not what happened.
while I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna put this link here in the chat so that other people can watch this.
Oh, they were apparently biscuits, but they were brown when they went in.
Yeah, they were.
Okay. Sure.
Well, not every TV show can get 100% continuity, right?
Right.
Now, you said that you were at home when you were hearing voices calling you.
Well, that was the second time. This part was true.
Okay.
But it didn't happen over and over and over like they're saying, calling my name over and over. It happened once.
What about shadows chasing you around and then seeing the old guy looking at you through the window?
No. There was no old guy looking at me through the window.
Okay.
And shadows never chased me around. I just watched them go in rooms. Okay, oh, no commercial. Oh, they spelled it right that time. Oh, wow. Okay, we're going back to the missing objects and him looking at me through the window. No, he did not. It was an open door. There was nothing. He wasn't even there that early. Okay, so he's talking about the spirits capturing our attention, which, okay, I get it. He might be right on that. The narrator, I like him.
Now,
Okay, so the big teapot.
yo,
I'm going to pause it, huh?
oh, you're gonna pause it? Okay, I'm gonna pause too. So the guy that's doing the narration, the one that he's the guy that's showing up on screen, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So who is he?
Don't
Is,
know. No idea.
did you meet him
Nope,
while you were doing this thing?
nope.
Who all did you meet when you flew over there to do this?
There was just people that put the equipment on you, that
Okay.
would put it under your shirt and all. And the people that there was a woman who was kind of directing, and then there was a bunch of cameramen. That was it. You were in it was a hotel, and it was like a tiny little conference room. That's all it was.
Okay, so that means they probably had a green screen behind you.
I don't, yeah, I guess so. I really don't remember. But
'Cause
they would make you back up.
like you're sitting in like a hallway or something.
Yeah, no, it was actually a room. So it had to be some kind of green screen.
Okay.
But they would make you back up. If you didn't say it with feeling enough, they'd make you back up and do it again.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely an acting class.
I suppose if you're going to be on TV, that's basically what it would be.
Yeah, but you're going to get real people's stories. You're not going to get an actress.
So already just based on the experiences that you had with this, think about David because he's been on a number of these shows.
That's why I look at these shows and these people that claim, oh my gosh, I've been on this and this and this and this and this. And now I'm going, so you lied this and this and this and this. Now, Keith, I know his story. They allowed him to keep it real.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Keith was on. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, they allowed him to keep it real. If he wants to say it, he can. But that wasn't the way with this one. It was not. I mean, they did use my words. They also cut and paste my words wherever they wanted to make it a little different.
Yeah. That happens. Welcome to Hollywood, babe.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Okay, so the teapot incident.
Okay.
In the evening, we would put the teapot, any tea that was left, out. There was a trash can outside the kitchen. We put it on top of there for anybody who wanted it at night shift, all of that. They portrayed that as those people were standing, somewhere else. They weren't. We were all standing around this trash can saying goodnight. Who's calling? Okay. His wife. It was his wife and him and me and my friend standing all around the trash can there. We were all just saying goodnight. This, I don't believe, had anything to do with him. But that trash can, or that lid off that teapot, it was just one of those really tall that you see in convenience stores. Really tall metal teapots. And so we took it, and we were just sitting there talking, and it did fly about 20 feet down that hallway. Just picked up and gone. Nobody had pissed him off at that point. So I don't think that had anything to do with him. And they portray it with his eyes turning red or some.
Yeah. Turning red, and you can also see the skull through his skin.
Yeah, no. He was a normalish person. Yeah, it talks about the two of them standing in front of me, which we were all right here. So, yeah. What is this? Okay.
So the part that I'm up to now is the shadow in the hallway.
Okay, I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
The lid is just now flying down the hall.
Oh, okay. So you paused it then.
I did. And his eyes turned red. No, they did not. Absolutely not. He did not grin at us and turn around. He was as scared as we were when that happened. Now, obviously, it's a hospital. There's lots of death. I mean, come on. Okay, so we're talking about the strange events. Go down the hallway and see the... Okay. So that shadow figure did happen. And it looked like a human going in. And yes, it did scare me to death. It sure did.
Well, as young as you were,
Yeah. And I did go in after that. Not a problem. That was my job, And there was lots of times in between that I would have patients, especially in ICU, that would say, "Can you give my husband a plate as well?" And they would talk normal. And there's not a husband there, but I would still give him a plate because, even as young as I was, I knew if they saw it, that'd make them feel better. And there was a code after that. That was true. What they didn't tell, I'm going to pause it right there. What they didn't tell was that code. The man in that room, I was pregnant at the time. And I don't think I told him this. But I was pregnant at the time. The man in that room was dying of cancer. And he told me, he said, "I have to die in order to make room for your son." I didn't tell him it was a boy. And I was like, "No, you don't." And he said, yeah, I do. And that night, this was in a matter of 2 days, not one. But that night, he said there was a code in birthing. And he said, "I thought it was you." The next morning, he said, "I thought that was you. And I told them to take my blanket and give it to you because the code said warm blanket in birthing 1. That's a code. That is not you really need a warm blanket in birthing one. It means the anesthesiologist needs to come in. That's all that means. But he was like, "Take my blanket. I know it's her. Take it." And of course, it wasn't me. And I saw him the next day, and he was like, "I still have to. I have to go before you can give birth. I know this." And of course, this is the second time we've been through this. I'm like, "No, you don't."
It's kind of an easy conversation to be having, though.
It's a hospital. These people know they're dying, especially with cancer. They know they're dying. And he was like, "No, I do." And he did die within hours of me giving birth.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he has to die in order for your son to be born.
Mm-hmm.
That
That's
that
what he thought.
that is basically like the plot point. Not exactly the plot point, but of a show that I watched a number of years ago that I really like called Population 436. And that in this little town, that is the population. If somebody comes to town and stays too long, somebody there dies.
Yeah. Yeah.
That,
I don't know where he got this. I mean, obviously it was 90s, early 2000s. No, I don't know where he got it, but
apparently,
he was convinced.
he knew something or sensed something.
Yeah, he did. He did. And he gave me a picture of himself when this happened. And right before, the day before he passed, he gave me a picture of himself and his family. So I was really hoping I was there when he passed so that I could let his family know what he'd said.
Yeah,
Now, looking back, I was in my 20s. So looking back on it, would that have helped him? I don't know. But
but
yeah,
it
I
certainly had a
picture.
profound effect on you.
Oh yeah, yeah. I never forgot that. But I learned to live with if he really believed that, if it wasn't me, it'd be someone else. I
Hey,
wasn't a nurse. I was only in there to bring his food. But, that's where we were.
but how many of them would have been pregnant?
Probably none. I think I was the only one at that time.
Yeah, so that conversation was meant for you. No,
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
yeah.
But he did die peacefully, so I'm good with that. Let's see, what else did they go on to? His evil smile, that is not, he wasn't that way. He wasn't evil. He was just creepy.
Well, they certainly did a good job in casting this guy here.
Yeah, he was creepy. And looking back on it now with what I know, he may have had different intentions. He might have been different. I'm not going to say which because we don't do that. But he was different.
Now, this is in Oklahoma.
Veneta, Oklahoma.
Was this before or after the Oklahoma bombing?
Before.
Okay.
I was actually at that hospital when I heard it. So this scene where they say, "Hey, are you okay?"
Yeah.
That portion was actually about one of our coworkers had gotten shot at the front desk because a guy came in fatigues and he was unstable, obviously, but he was like mentally way, way, way unstable. Could not have gotten a gun on his own because it was marked he was mentally unstable. The police in that town had something to do with it, the sheriff, and was able to get him a gun. And so let's go back. 2 girls went missing in our town. They were teenagers. They were tied to drug rings. Their parents were. And the sheriff had something to do with it.
Mm.
The sheriff somehow was able to get this guy a gun. And he came in and he shot. Her name was Deanna. And she was getting ready to go on Unsolved Mysteries to talk about these 2 girls because she knew a lot. And like a couple of nights before, she had gotten a phone call that said, you shouldn't do this. And she told him, F you, go away. They came to work and shot her. They put this guy up to it. Now, it wasn't him. It wasn't his doing. But he
Did
was...
he know what he was doing?
Yeah, no, he wouldn't have known. He was told to go do something, and he did it. He was mentally unstable. They found the parents burned, and all kinds of... the girls have still not been found. This is 32 years later. Still not found.
Okay, real quick, the episode that they would have been filming her, did that episode ever make air?
Filming... no.
So, so the part, the show, the episode that she would have been interviewing for, with her not being on it, did they still film whatever they had and air that on Unsolved Mysteries?
I don't know, but that is on Unsolved Mysteries. I don't know if that would have been the show she was on, but that is on Unsolved Mysteries. The girls from Veneta. Yeah.
Okay.
We know in the town who's responsible. We know. But that guy's gone. He died, and nothing ever came of it. Girls never been found.
So what was the it was the sheriff that got him the gun?
Yeah.
So was he ever a suspect in the disappearance of these girls?
Only from the town people. Nope. They chalked him up to being trafficked, which was never a thing. 2 people did end up getting prosecuted for that. Now, one of them got prosecuted. The other one died. And he had pictures of the girls tied up in a bed. Had Polaroids. But he didn't do it. Now, I mean, he might have completed the project, but no.
Yeah.
He didn't do it.
Wow.
He wasn't the beginning. So it was this portion where she says, hey, are you okay? That was my best friend coming back from the nurse's desk, which was down the hall. All we had was a view of the hallway and nothing else. You had to go down the hallway and down to see anything. She was coming back down because there was a late arrival and needed food. So we got him whatever we had. She took it, came back, and she was just like pale white. I said, what is wrong with you? She says, Deanna was shot. And I said, what do you mean? I figured freak accident at home, whatever. And she goes, she's in the ER. I thought, okay, she's taking over as an ER nurse. And she said, no, she shot. We had to walk around her dead body while they locked down the hospital. And the FBI, Oklahoma Bureau of Investigations came in. We weren't allowed to go home until they completed their investigation. We weren't allowed to call out and tell our family, hey, we're okay. News went out and said somebody died in that hospital. Somebody was shot. But the name was never released. So we weren't allowed to, let our families know, hey, it wasn't me. I'm okay. So, that was a whole deal in itself. But we had to walk around her body to go deliver to ICU. And her brains were splattered on the wall and running out of the sheet that they had laying over her.
Wow.
So it was like, wow. She was talking to her daughter when it happened, making wedding plans. Guy walked up in fatigues, asked for his mother, who had passed years before. And when she said she's not here, he shot her. And when he went outside, they actually ended up shooting him outside. And broad daylight, all of this broad daylight. He was standing on one of the nurses' cars. And when the police went to go take their shot, it went through the police, or through the car, then got him. The different shots went through her car. She actually had to live with that until she can get rid of the car. It was a whole scenario, but that's what I was talking about when I said, "Are you okay?" That was a whole different scene, but it didn't tie into the show, so that's that.
Except they made a tie-in.
Yeah. Okay, so I did ask Carol, who was my friend. She has passed since, but I did ask her to go deliver that meal when I saw that the second time, because she had no idea. And that person did die that evening. It was like the Grim Reaper going through there. Flashing lights never happened in that hospital. His eyes never turned red. Okay, there was a rumor that if you piss him off, or his wife, that something would happen. That's true.
Okay, you must have been paused a little bit longer than I was. Okay, now I got to the rumor.
Okay, so that anesthesiologist was actually a huge flirt. He actually helped me deliver both my kids. He was amazing. He was one of my friends there.
Okay.
And he did end up having kidney stone during surgery and collapse during surgery.
Oh, that must have been scary.
And he had just come up and got lunch from us right before that. Okay. Funny how the hospital's always dark. That wasn't the case.
Yeah, well, just like on Halloween 2, the entire hospital was dark.
Yeah, and that just never happened. Okay, we're going to skip this.
I like how they keep doing that phase shift with his face and his skeleton.
Yeah, that never happened. Okay. So they seem to be connected. The janitor. Yeah, that was the theory we had. He was just weird. He was different. And that girl, my friend, never told him he smelled like cat litter.
I can't imagine how that conversation would have.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
She did make a comment, but it had nothing to do with cat litter. And she did end up in the hospital with heart issues. Okay.
So the
Yeah.
of that would seem very suspicious.
Yeah, it was strange.
Yeah.
And of course we tried to find any explanation for it. Okay, so the narrator talks about whether they were influencing their conduit for spirits and this and that. And maybe so. I don't know. I worked there for 5 years. I never worried about being the next victim. I was young. It would never happen to me. That was my thought.
It's usually how it is.
Yeah. And the lights did flicker, but that happened often if the generators would go off or electric go off, generators would come on, try to kick it back and forth. The janitor was behind me as I locked the door. He wanted his tea. His eyes never turned red. Now, they were very dark. Too bad what happened to your little friend. He never said that.
Well, you did say that it didn't look like he had a soul.
Right, right. But he never said, too bad what happened to your little friend. That's not what he said. And he never hollered my name. I never heard my name at that point.
Just basically a rehash of what.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is where I was talking about going home and hearing somebody call my name.
So that's where they cut and moved it to
Yep.
that part of the story.
Yep. And me saying, stop it, I know it's you. No, I never confronted him about anything. And him laughing, no, no. You know, I can't even remember his name to this day. I know his wife's name. Yeah, it flashing lights in the hallway, everything dark. No, absolutely not. Him laughing and black stuff coming out. No. That just goes way too far. And what I said I wasn't going to have any more to do with was that black shadow. I'd worked there for 5 years, and that black shadow happened about 3 years in.
Okay.
And that's funny. That's true. I found another job and promised I would never work in a hospital again. And then they say, I retrained as a nurse aide to work with patients with intellectual disabilities. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Do I? And the other little caption that I don't know what happened there. No, I don't. But absolutely not. I did not train for anything with intellectual disabilities. No, I did not.
What was this? Let's see. I'm trying to remember here. Um, well, you didn't go into the foster until after
Yeah.
this happened, so
Right.
they wouldn't have known anything about that. When it said intellectual disability, I was thinking when you guys had Andrew.
Mm-mm. Nope.
So it was before.
Yep. It was before. So I don't know exactly where that came from. I think they looked at my history. And before this hospital, I did work at what was called Home of Hope. and it was for people with Down syndrome.
Okay.
But it was before this, not after.
So, from an entertainment standpoint, I actually enjoyed this episode.
But that's just it. Entertainment.
Right.
It's, if somebody were to see that and just knows me from the internet and doesn't know me, that's pretty creepy. And that's, I worked in a hospital where lights were flashing and people were calling my name all the time. No, that's not what happened.
So, would it be fair to say that when you went into this thing, your intention was to talk about the shadow and your name being called?
Yep. And the janitor being really creepy, but not to the extent that it was put.
But they decided to make the janitor the
The
star
person.
of the story.
Yep. Yep. Because my stuff was, I really thought, which I never said, but I thought something had followed me home from the hospital, calling my name, because that happened at home, about a mile away, broad daylight, screen door. The door was open, screen door was there, and somebody called it from outside the screen door. And so my thought was something followed me from the hospital.
It wouldn't be the first time that. Well, no, that would be the first time, but it wouldn't be the only time that's happened to you.
No, no. But that was so loud and clear and broad daylight. You're like, oh wait. And my friend was right beside me. We were in the same house. At that point, I had gotten a divorce and I was living with my best friend.
Okay.
And she was toward the door. My chair was further away. And I was like, did you hear that? She didn't. So I was like, okay, never mind. I'm good. But, those were the stories I was telling, the unexplained.
Mm-hmm.
Not what you could explain with theatrics.
So, if you were to give this a grade, what would you give it?
Probably a C, because they kind of, they did actually use my words. The theatrics that went with it were unnecessary and took it a different route.
Well, that's Hollywood for you.
Yep, and that's why it will never happen again. Ever. I I am as old as I am, and had my fame, and I'm done. We're good.
Fame or shame?
I am going to spend the next probably 20 years undoing this.
Well, that's why I wanted to get you on here for this very specific reason. Because I knew that people would be messaging you about it. And of course, they did.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but at least now we have something to where your story, your true story, is out there.
Yeah.
What you said, what you didn't say, what they did, um, and the fact that the story that I know real well about the other nurse getting shot, I didn't realize that was actually embedded into this story.
Yeah.
I thought that was like something separate.
Yeah. It was all in that 5-year period.
Wow. And this is in Oklahoma City.
No, it was in Veneta, Oklahoma, which is about 4.5 hours from Oklahoma City.
Okay.
But we were in that same kitchen when we heard about the bombing.
Okay. That hits a little close to home.
Yep.
I remember when they first started reporting that, it was like at the time until 9/11 the worst um, terrorist attack on American soil.
Yep. And as young as I was, I didn't. I knew it was something serious. I knew it was, but when I left work, because we were allowed a little radio at work, and that was it. And my best friend and I would just dance around the kitchen because we were just playing music. But of course, that came across, and it was just the first hit. And I was like, okay, we got a problem, but they're going to fix it. Let's go. And we went out on the boat. Didn't hear another thing about it till that night.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, nope, it didn't happen. We're going to live. Let's go.
Or you didn't realize the extent of it.
No, not at all. No, we went fishing. We took our boat out, went to go have fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that day all too well. And then all the and to think it was an actual former, it was a veteran that did this. So
Yep. And that's why we do what we do, because it can mess them up. It can mess them up bad.
yeah.
And they're angry. They're angry that they did not get vindicated. And I get it.
The mental um, the guy that shot the nurse, he you said he was like a mental patient.
Yeah. He had been a mental patient, and his wife, or his mother had died in that hospital. So it was the perfect scenario, because they made it out like he was upset that his mother had died. And that
Even
was the case
had been years before.
years before.
How old was this guy, or thereabout?
In his 30s.
Wow.
Yep. It was awful. I mean, it's something that it's unreal when you're actually looking at it, because, we're walking around this knowing exactly what happened. And actually, when he took his shot, the doctor was right behind the nurse putting in his notes from ICU. And
Oh,
his daughter was standing 2 feet from him on the other side of the desk. And it missed the doctor.
his daughter.
Yep. She was
Okay.
7. And it missed the doctor, his daughter, and hit the computer as it went through her. And the daughter had to hear this while she's on the phone making wedding plans with her mom. So it's like, a lot of people were affected and will be for a very long time.
Rest of their lives, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially that 7-year-old girl.
Yep.
Seeing this happen.
I'm hoping she just doesn't even remember. Because our bodies are made to block out things that
That's
we just
true.
don't remember.
That's true. Well, at 7, would she have been at the mental capacity to even understand what just took place?
No. And we weren't, because we walked around her knowing what happened. We didn't see her face or her body. It was all covered at the time we delivered meals. But the brains were there. I know what brains look like when they come out.
So was it? I don't really want to ask this, but was it like a front shot or a side
Yep.
shot?
Front shot.
Wow.
Yep. And the only thing you see is like, it looks like pink milk. So it doesn't look real. It doesn't look like, you don't put the scene together in your mind. You're like, okay, I know she's gone, but you don't put that together.
Yeah.
Your mind doesn't let you put it all together at the time.
I don't know what's more disturbing, the story itself or the fact that you are recounting all of this while you are eating dinner.
Well, it's been a lot of years, and I was serving dinner when it happened.
Uh,
Yeah, you're talking to the same girl who can help a cow give birth with one arm and have a cheeseburger be eating it in the other.
yeah, that is true. I didn't really think about that. Yeah.
Country girls can do it.
Yeah, they can do it, but should they do it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
Survive.
certain things. Um, so any other revelations that we should be aware of when it comes to this episode and how you really feel about it? I know you've already said you wish you didn't do it, you regret it, and you're going to be spending the next 20 years talking it down.
I
Uh,
just anything you're watching, I've seen certain channels. They're I guess what you have to sign, their contracts of what you'll do and what you won't do. And this wasn't like that, so I didn't think it was that way. What I didn't know was that they can cut and paste and do whatever they want and make it however they want. And of course, with the replays of the actors, that changes the whole scenario.
well, you did say that they got the janitor pretty spot on.
They did, and I never described him.
What about your counterpart, the young girl that played you?
Um, I think that was decent. You're not going to find anybody that looks like me, thank God. But that one was fine. Of course, they did the best they could with what I would have said, what I would have done. They kind of had to improvise on that because they didn't ask me any of that. It wasn't in detail, so
And
they did okay.
wife, the janitor's wife, how they do on her?
Not at all. She was a gray-haired lady and always had her hair down. She was beautiful. She was, but no, she was an older gray-haired lady and very soft-spoken, very sweet. They portrayed her to be scared of him, and she was not. She was in charge, guaranteed. But they couldn't have known that because they didn't ask. They had a full maybe 30 minutes. That was it, and that was all in front of the camera. So they just cut and paste what they wanted. I didn't talk to anybody beforehand.
This contract that you signed with them was I probably should have asked you before asking you to come onto the show to talk about this. But is there anything in the contract that would have said, okay, that doesn't say you can't do it, but discourages you from basically doing what we just did?
If there was, I didn't see it.
Oh, do you still have that contract?
No, it was nothing that you got to keep.
Really?
Nothing at all. Nope.
That's kind of odd.
Yeah. Yep. I have nothing from that. There's no non-disclosure. There's nothing.
Wow. Well, I would like to think that if there was a non-disclosure agreement attached to this thing, they would have given you a copy of it.
You'd think.
Yeah.
Or I didn't read my email real well. I don't know.
Oh well, that could be.
It could be.
That could be. Okay. And so, safe to say, you are not going to be doing anything like this ever again.
No, I will not. If I'm going to do it, it's going to be on a podcast and we're done.
Easier that way, I would think.
It is. And that way I can say what really happened and not have to have cut and paste and some actor doing it. Believe me, I can act good enough. I didn't need an actress doing that.
And doing it from the comfort of your own home.
That's right.
Although I would have to admit it'd be nice to have like a little free trip to go on, but you didn't really get to do anything.
Nothing. You got there at maybe 6, 7 o'clock. You went to your room, and at 7 a.m., you had to be ready to go. And then the plane left about 9. So, yeah, no, you didn't get nothing extra.
Yeah.
And hopefully they didn't make a lot of money off that. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure they made a little bit of money off of it.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I don't see haunted hospitals airing much anymore.
On the freebies.
Are they still making episodes?
Let's see here. Okay, IMDb. Let's see. Okay, they were making them solid from 2018 to 2022 every year. Then they skipped 23. And then they did a season for 24, but nothing in 25.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I
this
think they're pretty done.
maybe. Oh, let's see if you have an IMDb credit. So, and of course, they would not be in alphabetical order. See if your name is listed on here or not.
Oh, probably not.
Well, the thing is, you appeared on a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
You were, well, you weren't exactly compensated for it.
No. Here's, back to the old saying of just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
Right. Well, it's just like that. The time that I got a call to be on a show, but I'm really glad I missed that call. Okay, your name did not show up on here.
Oh, no, of course not.
Yeah. I bet they only did an IMDb credit for those who did the reenactments, not the actual people who did the talking.
Which I understand that. I get that.
Now closest you got, Murph Hickey as Adrienne Hart.
Oh, well, at least I know who she was.
Yeah, that's her name. Her name is Murph Hickey. Is an actress who has been performing and making art since 2006. She has an undergraduate degree in acting with distinction from the University of Ottawa. She has a master's degree in acting with high distinction from East 15 Acting School. Let's see. She's driven by empathy, yada, yada, yada. She is dedicated to supporting those struggling with mental health issues. And that's a plus right there.
Right.
Let's see what other credits she has. She only has 6 credits, with 3 more on the way, including two of a series called Hometown Mysteries,
Okay.
and one, oh no, she has 3 for Hometown Mysteries. And then she has a Christmas movie coming out.
Oh, wow.
So there you go. So
Nice.
at least you know who portrayed you. Her name is Murphy Hickey, and it even has her height at 5'4".
Close. We'll go with that.
Yeah, uh, that's all that's mentioned about her. Oh,
So
and it
somebody.
has a picture of her from one of the kitchen scenes.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So somebody that we really know, that we actually know, I would like to see. I'm going to have to Google that and see if it shows her as a credit. Because she's been on a lot of different shows. You know, when you get on one, you might be okay. You get on more than one, you become the center of controversy, just like David.
Would her name be Amanda by any chance?
No.
Okay.
No, she is the one with the haunted dolls that caused her husband to have a heart attack.
Okay. I do see other names listed on Haunted Hospitals, names that I'm familiar with: Jack Canna, Richard Estep,
Okay.
uh, Amanda Quill.
Hmm. I didn't know she was on anything.
She was actually on several Haunted Hospitals and a few others.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, I guess that kind of about covers everything, doesn't it?
I think it does.
Okay. And we still haven't hit an hour and a half yet. So we're
Wow,
doing
we're good.
good.
That's just because we didn't get to play it.
Right. All right, Adrian. Well, before we end the show, I will ask you the same question I have been asking all the other guests this episode, because I like to end each episode with on the positive side. Um, at this moment in time, as you sit there in that chair, what are 3 things you are grateful for?
Still having my in laws around. The house is not falling apart. And my husband.
As much as you like to torture him.
I do. I do. And that's part of the reason I'm thankful for him. Got to
Uh,
torture someone.
yeah, that is true. That is true. All right, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, thank you so much for playing along with us. We greatly appreciate it. Next week, I will have Gray Bakken on the show, and we are going to be talking about his ghost stories and beyond, like para-friends events that he does up there in Minnesota. So I'm going to have him on the show, and we're going to talk about that, get to know that aspect of him. Because last time I had him on the show, we spent 3 hours talking about Doctor Who. That was a very interesting show. And then the week after that will be the Friday the 13th episode. Because it will be Friday the 13th. And just by very happy coincidence, it'll be the 13th episode of the season.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm going to have a bunch of people on for that, and we'll be talking about the film series. And then the week after that, I will have Zach on the show. We're going to be doing the lead in to the 22-hour marathon for Mission for Healthy Heroes like 2 days before he does the actual event. And then I think I'm going to take a break after that.
I think that's a good idea because I know after his 22-hour podcast, I'm taking a break.
Yeah. All right. Well, Adrienne, thank you so much for being on here and telling us your story.
Thank you.
And everybody out there, well, depending on where you're at, I know we got some additional snow tonight and this morning on top of the almost foot that we got over the weekend.
It's a little much.
Yeah, it is. And it's supposed to snow again all day, but most of the day on Monday.
You got groceries, right?
Actually, I'm going shopping on Sunday. I'm going to do some shopping for myself and for Dad.
I think you should probably stay your behind home as much as you can.
Oh, I have been. So, and Tom's in the house now. He's probably one of those guys that's been watching the whole show and not saying anything. Come on, Tom.
You know better.
Yes. All right. Well, that concludes our episode for this week. Again, thank you guys so much. And be safe out there. Stay warm. I know temperatures are supposed to start rising a little bit. But otherwise, overall, be safe out there. And we will see you guys next time. Have a good night.